In this week News Weekly Rundown, President Joe Biden doctor said Friday that a lesion removed from the president's chest last month was basal cell carcinoma, a common type of skin cancer. Biden will continue dermatological treatment going forward, he added. Biden physician said no further treatment was required. In other news, the U.S. is sending Ukraine $400 million more in military aid and establishing a security assistant headquarters in Germany that will oversee all weapon transfer and military training for Ukraine, the Pentagon announced Friday. Notably, the $400 million in aid includes funding for additional air defense to help Ukraine better defend itself against escalating Russian missile and drone attacks that have badly damaged the country's power and water infrastructure. Now for two devastating tragedies that has hit two families very hard. For a year and a half, Alex Murdaugh denied he was anywhere near where his wife Maggie and 22-year-old son Paul were brutally killed. But it was one of his victims, his son, who would provide key proof after his death that legal experts say exposed his father's web of lies and ultimately led to his conviction in the double homicide. It is ironic in the end that it was Paul Murdaugh whose cell phone solved his own murder. Dave Argabird, state attorney of Florida Palm Beach County, told CNN Thursday night. Murdaugh, a now disgraced former South Carolina attorney, was found guilty Thursday of fatally shooting his wife and son, and a day later was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He has maintained his innocence. It is our hope that one day Murdaugh's oldest son will find peace with the tragedy that his family has to endure. Speaking of tragedy, Tim Norman of the hit show Sweetie Pie on the OWN network was also convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his nephew, Andre Montgomery. Our thoughts and prayers are with Andre Montgomery, mothers and siblings that he left behind. In our international news, a joint U.S. and Australian law enforcement operation busts an international drug ring after intercepting 2.4 tons of cocaine aboard a vessel off the coast of South America that had been bound for Australia. The cocaine linked to a Mexican drug cartel had a street value of about $1 billion and was equivalent to half of Australia's estimated annual consumption, making the siege one of the biggest that Australian police have been involved in. 12 suspects has been arrested and charged in the case, Western Australia State Police said in a statement on Saturday, releasing details for the first time of an operation that began last November when the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration intercepted the vessel. Worried parents protest in Iran capital Tehran and other cities on Saturday over a wave of suspected poison attacks that have affected schoolgirls in dozens of schools, according to Iranian news agency and social media videos. The so far unexplained illnesses has affected hundreds of schoolgirls in recent months. Iranian officials believe the girls may have been poisoned and have blamed Tehran enemies. The country health minister has said the girls have suffered mild poison attack, and some politician has suggested the girls could have been targeted by hardline Islamic groups opposed to girls' education. In other news in North Korea, concern about North Korea's chronic food shortage are growing, with multiple sources suggesting this week that deaths due to starvation are likely. Some experts say the country has hit its worst point since a 1990 famine known as the Arduous March caused mass starvation and killed hundreds of thousands of people, or an estimated 3 to 5% of what was then a 20 million strong population. Trade data, satellite images, and assessment by the United Nations and South Korea authorities all suggest the food supply has now dipped below the amount needed to satisfy minimum human needs, according to research analysts at the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Now in other news out of Africa, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emerged the winner of a closely fought contest for Nigerian presidency. Tinubu, who turned 71 later this month, was governor in Lagos between 1999 and 2007, where he is credited with pioneering reforms that led to transformation of the state. Now Nigerian economic hub. He will become Nigerian's fifth president since the country returned to democratic rule in 1999, emerging as winner for the country's top job on his first attempt. Foreign ministers from the world's biggest economies convened in New Delhi Thursday in what was seen as a grand test for India diplomacy, which ultimately didn't succeed in reaching a consensus because of Russian ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Still, there was much effort put forward in making it a warm and welcoming meeting. Now in lighter news, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has been evicted from their cottage in Windsor Castle by King Charles as the family rift continued to go on. It is our wish and prayers that one day this family settle their indifferences and join together as one. This has been your News Weekly Rundown. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you in the comment section below.